Hi, I'm Melissa Case with Jacobs & Co. Real Estate. Today, I'm sitting with my dear friend, Caroline Dockery from Categorically Caroline. We're going to just talk today a little bit about her business and what she offers. I think that the services that she does are very essential for realtors, and throughout this interview, you'll understand why. Welcome, Caroline.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you, your background, and then tell us about the business, how you got it started.
I was a high school teacher for 10 years before I became an organizer, and I have formalized training in education and psychology and learning processes and things like that. And I taught in Fairfax County and Fauquier County, and I think my background as a teacher is really helpful. I left the teaching in the classroom about 3 years ago. I worked as a junior organizer for another firm, just trying to, learn the ropes and see if this is really something I wanted to get into. And I absolutely loved it from day one. And I started my own company about 2 years ago, and I just love it. It's my passion of all different things coming together, and helping people is always at the root of everything I do.
Yeah. Well, I know as a realtor, when I am meeting with a client for our listing appointment, when we first enter the home, sometimes before even going, I can tell through conversation that they're hesitant. And I always tell them, I'm like, listen, this is a judgment-free zone. I just need to come over and assess the value of your home so that we know, and also so that we can make a strategy. I personally have never had a client that I've been like, oh my goodness, I need to refer somebody.
Right.
But I know that you have helped several of my real estate friends.
Sure.
So when they contact you, how does that go? How does that work?
So typically a realtor does, in that case, have a sense like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in this house, or oh, this person doesn't have a big support system and they're living alone, or they've gone through a big life transition, and there's a lot of stuff, a lot of space, and limited time. So they're able to kind of forecast, oh, this client's probably going to need some extra help. So that help can manifest in different ways. Sometimes I come in at the very beginning of the stage, and the person is just going from their everyday life to uprooting all of that, and they have not started the process, and they need help from day one. Other times they have already started to declutter, they've already started to think about what's it like to move, and then I come in kind of midway and kind of support their vision. And other times they have run out of time and unfortunately are in a crunch and are really stressed and are really going through a really hard time at that point, and then I come kind of tie up the loose ends and kind of get them over the finish line. And difficulty with, managing their stuff comes from fear, comes from lack of, fear of being unprepared in the future, fear of losing connection with the past, fear of, just losing their sense of familiarity. So we kind of tackle those fears. We go through a series of questions, a lot of reflection. There's a lot of dialogue in this process because, I never want to tell people what to do. I help talk them through things. We kind of think about stuff and help them make the decision, because I always want them to be in the driver's seat, and I'm kind of the co-driver. So
that's awesome. In addition to working with people who are in the moving process, I'm sure you just have regular clients whose homes get a little overwhelmed with stuff, and so they reach out to you. What are some projects that you see like the most of?
Sure. So a lot of folks need help with storage spaces, places that can sort of be out of sight and that sometimes get then out of control. And, whether it's a change in the seasons or whether it's a change in mindset, and that space can kind of become this nagging cloud that's just kind of lurking. So a lot of times people have avoided it for so long that they say, I cannot face this by myself, and I need somebody to be there with me. And that's what I love to do, is to literally be shoulder to shoulder with people and help them face those things that they have been avoiding and procrastinating on, but that has affected their mental health. And in life, when we're so busy, we're going left and right, and we're doing all these things. Sometimes what we hope to do is not always what we actually do. So, and sometimes I work with folks who feel like, I could do this by myself. Couldn't I just do this myself? But having somebody come at a certain time, having an appointment, and for this focused task, helps people actually do the things that they've said they wanted to do but haven't been able to. Yeah.
Very true. Okay, so if people were going to want to reach out to you, what's the best way?
So my website is the business name, www.categoricallycaroline.com. So that's a great way. I have a contact section on there. And then I'm on social media, Facebook and Instagram. I haven't gotten to TikTok yet. It's too much. So Instagram and Facebook are also great.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So then when they reach out to you, do you set an appointment? Do you have them send photos? Like what's the
So
usual?
it usually begins with a discovery call, and that's where we talk on the phone, sometimes a Zoom call, but we talk on the phone and we kind of just get an overall orientation to the project, kind of the landscape in which we're going to be thinking about. For big projects, I do offer an in-person consult where I will literally come over to the house, kind of like a realtor. You walk around and you look at every space and all that stuff. So that's an option too for big projects, but kind of for single spaces, usually photos are fine. And from that point then we look at our calendars, we look at our schedules. I book things on a 4-hour basis. I find like that's enough that we can get things done, we get momentum built, we can see some progress.
Right.
And yet it doesn't completely zap people of their energy and their, stamina. So it kind of helps them,
So
have
smart.
time for other things in the day.
And now what
Yeah.
areas do you service?
Yeah, so I'm all over Northern Virginia, pretty much from the Potomac down to the Rappahannock. So
Okay.
everything from Arlington, Alexandria, down to Stafford and Fredericksburg, and over to Lake Loudon and Fauquier.
So when you talk to potential clients, what is a frequently asked question?
Is this the worst thing you've ever seen? That's a common question, and the answer is always no. No, it's it's a lot of times people want to compare themselves to others, and they want some kind of bearing in which to, bounce things off of. But everybody's is different, and I'm just proud of people for reaching out for help. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of accountability, it takes a lot of self-reflection, and I'm just so proud of everybody for reaching out for help.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
thank
you taking the
you.
time and getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I know I told you off camera, but I'm going to say it now that I will be having you
Oh,
over
fun.
because I definitely need some help. My pantry and my laundry room are on my list of things to do.
Okay, well,
So
I try to make it fun, so we'll have a good time.
excited, and
Me
maybe we'll
too.
do a little TikTok.
Hey, maybe we'll do a TikTok. That's right. You can get me into the TikTok world.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.